You're watching Dirty Laundry, and I'm interviewing Jamie Lidell. I was always one of those people at school that was kind of a bit more reluctant than others to sort of sit around and chat about stuff that had happened. I was a bit more of a private person, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, maybe this is my way. You know, maybe that's why I need to become an artist. I mean, that opens up a can of worms, and who am I to really know why I do things or what motivates my decisions? But I find this a release. I mean, you do have to sing it every night, but I think it also is important to kind of, when you do put into words some things, it's good to not forget those moments too. Because, you know, you can go through life and just, you know, the last few months I haven't actually been writing that much down. Without film archive, without photos, without something to remind me at that time, I might well just like not be able to bring it back, you know. So it's kind of like a little time capsule as well, an emotion capsule. I mean, the writing part does make me a bit weird. I mean, I get like a little bit reclusive, and you know, I don't know, I get a little antisocial, and I guess that's like, it's kind of hard to be around me when I'm like that, which I really am like trying to change, because I like the idea of the process being, you know, an open one and a creative one all the time, and not one where I'm like using my pride and fear like as my primary kind of frontages, you know. There's people in New York that walk into cafes now with typewriters that actually sit down like hipsters, the new hipster thing. It's like they put down a little, you know, little Tolstoy and like start tapping away, like brilliant. So maybe that's it, people are already going there.
And they have a rotary phone that they carry with them and plug in instead of a mobile phone and make their calls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Has to be plugged into the actual wall.
Right.
Wherever they just carry a huge cable with them all the time.
From their house, actually, they just
like massive cables.
Sorry, can't go past 3 blocks. That's how far my cord will stretch.
I got really lucky in this record with Chris Taylor and Beck, and you know, they're great characters to get feedback from. Chris Taylor was particularly kind of you know, forthright, I guess. He just kind of would like to be like, nah, I'm not feeling that. No, we should do it like this maybe. And I'd be like, sometimes I'd go with what he said and sometimes not. But it's cool. People are all different. We recorded at Sunset Sound with Beck to do the record club, which is beautiful. I don't think you've been there. But with the Purple Rain, Heritage, and you know, all these great albums have been recorded there as well. Then I was like, we couldn't get that to do my recording. We could only get Ocean Wave. But I was like, wow, I've heard, you know, Radiohead record there. You know, Nigel Godrich loves the board. I'd heard Beck just kind of like laughing. Obviously, he did Sea Change there, and so you know, it's got a really wonderful sound. I know that the place is great. So there you are. You're anticipating this kind of like beautiful mahogany, whatever. It's just a bunch of weird grey and white panels, kind of arbitrarily slapped at various angles in this kind of pretty, like, it looks like you're inside a huge cardboard box basically, and like that's it. I mean, you clap your hands in the middle of it though, and you feel that it's something special, you know. He was a real freak, this guy, you know. Ultimately, you can't let your eye be your guide in these situations. It's just a pure, I mean, the ears tell you that the room is amazing. It is an amazing place. Beck inspired me a lot to just kind of keep it moving, you know. He really believes in just kind of like, if you're onto something, you can write a song in an hour, you can write a song in 10 minutes. You really don't necessarily need like months to work on something. I mean, it depends. He was giving me examples like stuff that he worked on when he did Modern Guilt. He said that he worked on songs for months, like crafting these amazing lyrics. And in the end, the songs that really went down the best were just kind of ad-libs. Songs that, you know, he just had a beat and he started just kind of playing around on, you know. They just felt the most natural, and I think that's it with music. There's a certain thing. There's a time and a place for all of it. There's a time to be Leonard Cohen. There's a time to be just kind of, do you know what I mean? There's a time to just be really thoughtful and focused in what you have to say. And there's a time to just like let it all out and just shout and just have a play. You know what I mean?
You are quoted as saying that you regret making music your career.
Well, I mean, there's always moments, you know, when you think, you know, there's a certain purity of making music which is lost. There's sort of maybe a spiritual dimension. When you start taking money, the spirituality kind of leaves by the back door to an extent.
But I think you get to the next level where then it's...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you just have to be trusting in something. Yeah, it's coming through the other side. I mean, I think you in the beginning, passion and talent and just like wanting to make music really drives you. Then you get, or whatever, whatever motivates you. And then you get to a certain level, and then it is your career, you know. And now I've got people on the payroll, and I've got, you know, the whole thing, the management, the booking agents around the world, and you kind of, you know, there's a certain amount of that. It's brilliant, you know. I'm absolutely loving it. It's the life I chose. It's the life that I wanted, and but every now and again, there's a certain part of me that's like, you know. Maybe I'm envious a little bit of people who just take their guitar and play some songs, you know, then put it down and then they get on with their life, you know, and they don't have to make it their livelihood, you know, because the business stuff can start to really dominate the whole thing, and you start to worry about criticism, and you know, suddenly you're in a public eye and people give you a bad review, and somehow you have to deal with that, and it's like, man, I was just making music, you know what I mean? The hell? Put a number on it, you know, it starts to get really kind of weird, and then you get competitive with people, and you're just like, I don't want that, you know, that's so shallow. We were supposed to do laundry, weren't we? I mean, wasn't that isn't this your shtick?
Yeah,
well, I call it shtick, that's
either,
the meaning. I actually needed to do laundry.
We don't have a shtick, okay?
So thanks a lot, guys, for letting me down, because I actually had like laundry prepared and everything.